Greetings, everyone. Welcome to Music as a Journey. I'm Peter. Vinyl Ritchie. He's been in the VC now for 11 years, as of March 3rd, he said. Making offensive videos, ticking everybody off. And what's he going to do to celebrate those 11 years? He's having a contest. He's having a contest where you got to make an offensive video. And if you win this contest and you live within the United States of America, he's going to send you a bunch of records that he doesn't need anymore. However, if you win and you live overseas somewhere or outside of the boundaries of the United States anyway, his daughter is going to arrange to send you some money or something like that. So what you've got to do is you've got to make an offensive video, basically covering 11 offensive things to celebrate those 11 years. And then you've got to tell Vinyl Ritchie by actually commenting on his original video to let him know, because he's not out there watching everybody's videos to see who's making videos for his contest. He doesn't have time for that kind of thing. So you got to leave a comment there. Now I'm going to jump on this one here. And I've got 11 offensive things to talk about. It could be anything related to music. It could be album covers, album titles, song lyrics, even band members who have an offensive name. And Mark Morris, he's already with me on this. He's already done his video about offensive album covers. Contrary to popular belief, Mark Morris and I aren't actually twins, but our brains were grown in the same laboratory and fed orange Kool-Aid crystals and powdered Weetabix. So if there are any similarities between the two of us, that's the reason why. So I will leave a link to Vinyl Ritchie's original contest instruction video in the link below. And I will also leave a link to Mark Morris's offensive video as well, so you can check that out. So rock and roll, I mean, it's not always about little squirrels and bunnies kissing in the parking lot. Sometimes rock and roll deliberately tries to be offensive. It deliberately tries to shock. Sometimes it's just to kind of wake you up and say, hey, are you friggin' well paying attention, you old geezers out there? Other times it actually wants to pick up some topic, some social topic, something that needs to be discussed, some important issue, and it wants to throw it in your face and make sure you're paying attention. Some people are offended by these things, and rock and roll knows this. It does it to be shocking and offensive, because if you're offended by it, then probably you're just too much of a little Nancy Pants to deal with it. Now, before you go about getting too offended here, just please remember one thing. That's right. This is Betty Blue, all-female Japanese rock band who are named after a French erotic film. Now, I thought I could start this off here doing offensive album covers, like maybe the original album cover for Virgin Killer by the Scorpions. And actually, in Japan, they have a bit of a different attitude about album covers. Like, it's supposed to be album cover art. So as long as it's considered art, anything goes. So, I mean, they're pretty direct about what goes on some of the album covers here. And I think Vinyl Ritchie would approve of non-censorship in a case like this. But anyway, what I decided to do then was to not concentrate on album covers, but to do lyrics. So first of all, from 10 years after 1969 album Shh, their cover of Good Morning Little Schoolgirl. Good Morning Little Schoolgirl was already something a little bit kind of going over the boundaries. I mean, it probably goes back to a time when going over that particular boundary was still deemed acceptable, particularly in some parts of the United States and other parts of the world. Anyway, as you probably know, the lyrics go, "Good morning, little schoolgirl, can I go home with you?" However, the 10 years after version just put it straight out there what the intent was. There was no, I get it, in these lyrics here. Alvin Lee just went straight up and sang, "Babe, I want to ball you all night long." I don't know how old he was when he was singing that. Was he 26? Was he 28? But little schoolgirl, I'm assuming we're talking at least junior high school age. Some people might be offended by that. I'm going to put that together with that Scorpions album cover here right now. Next up, DAD, Disney After Dark, from their big international hit album back in the late 80s there. We've got a song on here called Siamese Twin. I'm in with a Siamese twin. I'm in with a double friend. You can guess what that's all about. Celebrating diversity or just divergency. Then we've got the Donnas. There's a song on here called Get Rid of That Girl. Basically, there's a cute guy that she likes, but he's already got a girlfriend. She's got lovely long nails and gorgeous long blonde hair. So she just wants to go up and bash her on the head and punch her teeth in and drag her all over town by the hair. Get rid of that girl. Probably this is just, good old high school girl punk rock fun. Unfortunately, just a few weeks back, I happened to see a video about the youngest woman in the United States to be given the death sentence because she did actually much worse to a classmate who was talking to the boy that she liked. I'm not going to go into details, but it's a pretty horrific story, as was that girl's upbringing. Pretty terrible. Anyway, we know the Donnas are just having fun. I mean, this album's got a song, I Want to Be a Unabomber. There's another song on here, Everyone's Smoking Chiba. So yeah, it's all in good fun. Let's not get too offended. Now here's an album, the band Stray. This is their second album. I'm not going to say the title. Apparently you can't say this word on YouTube. You might get shut down. I mean, you can say patricide, matricide, fratricide, sororicide. You can say regicide, deicide, insecticide, pesticide, barbicide, inside, outside, riverside, lakeside, mountainside, seaside, but you cannot say this word for some particular reason. Anyway, this is the title track of this album here, and it gets double points for being offensive because it also includes a racial slur, which we are also not allowed to say on YouTube unless you're black. Then it's okay. So, in this song, it actually is a very positive message. It's a song about racial equality, treating all people equally. However, the song begins with a very despondent and depressed black man who wants to take his own life because he's treated worse than a second-class citizen just for his skin color. So it starts off, put the gun to my head, but I could not pull the trigger. In a while, I'll be dead. Who would ever miss that word? Anyway, the song actually is saying, look what racial inequality does to people. Look how bad it can get. So we need to all treat each other equally. So it's actually a song with a positive spin, if you're paying attention. All right, speaking of being offensive and being misunderstood, here's Strapping Young Lad's third album. It's a self-titled album. Good old Devin Townsend there. There's a track on here called Rape Song. Am I allowed to say that? I'm talking about a plant. Here's a picture. So anyway, in this song, the start of the song is from the point of view of the perpetrator, who says, I want you for your body. Basically, I am a male with deranged thinking, and I can only think that I must carry out my duties as a male of the species against any female. That's why I want you for your body. Devin Townsend, however, steps in on the second half to say to the perpetrator, I want you for your body because I want to pound the living shit out of it for what you did. That kind of a thing. However, people misunderstood that the first half of the song was actually Devin saying to women, I want you for your body just for that one reason. No. Pay attention. Sometimes rock and roll song lyrics are deliberately offensive because they are being sung from the point of view of the person we are supposed to dislike. However, this next one here, I still can't figure it out. This is a band called Sex. Debut album here, 3 guys running naked in the grass, presumably going out looking for sex. They've got a song on here called, oh gosh, I hate to say this. They've got a song on here called I Had to, this plant, her. I had to, her. Now, I thought, okay, this is going to be one of those rock and roll story song lyrics, where there's a message in it. Well, basically, this attractive woman comes over to this guy's apartment, gets him all excited, takes him into the bedroom. He thinks, yeah, hey, here we go. And at the last moment, she backs out. So he had to, her. Now, I thought, okay, I think by modern standards, and probably even in the early 1970s, some people would certainly have agreed, there's a time when somebody just says no, the other person has to say, okay, fine. and it's time for a date with Jill. However, he had to her. Now, I was looking for, okay, so where is the point in the song where we find out, just how mistaken this person is? Well, at the very end of the song, he mentions something about her dad and her 2 older brothers are after him all the time now. Like, that's it. Like, that's the message. That's it. You do such a thing, and then you're just at risk of getting your ass totally beaten in by her family. I don't like the title of that song. Even I'm offended. But anyway, I suppose there was some kind of brilliant thinking about it at the time. Next, we're going to take a look at a little bit more fun version of a song here. This is called Heterosexual Man by a band called Odds from their album Bedbugs. Heterosexual Man is also meant to be tongue-in-cheek, but it basically goes like, I want to make every woman I see. I want to make every woman I see. Maybe make a baby with me because I'm a heterosexual man. I want to make every woman I know. I want to make them take off their clothes. I'll make it with them unless they say no, because I'm a heterosexual man. Great song, by the way. Wicked bass line. All right, let's move away from sex. Debut album by Nazareth. There's a song on here called Fat Man. Nobody wants to walk with him, talk with him, be seen with him. Nobody wants to look like him, be like him, look like him. Fat man, fat man, fat man. Are you offended by that? Are you offended? Come on, half of you should be. That's half of the vinyl community out there. Ow! All right, then, from The Police. What is this album? Regatta to Blank. There's a song on here, On Any Other Day. It's about a guy who is suffering from all sorts of misfortunes during the day, and it would be okay on any other day. Why any other day? Well, at the end of the song, we hear, happy birthday, dear daddy, happy birthday to you. So we can understand it's his birthday and he doesn't want all this calamity on his birthday. But there's a line in the song that says, my teenage daughter ran away, my fine young son has turned out gay. And it would be okay on any other day. So for some reason on his birthday, it is not good news to hear that his fine young son has turned out gay. Does that mean he's not a fine young son anymore because he's gay now? Well, remember, this is the late 70s and still it's a very taboo subject, as it still is for some people these days. But I would like to think that a lot more families these days go, oh, you're gay. All right, well, good for you. Good you know it. Now, be yourself and be happy. I knew a guy came out like that, it was a friend of my girlfriend, came up to us one day and he said, guys, I got to tell you something. And he told us like he was dropping some kind of big bomb and waiting to see how shocked we'd be. And we were like, great, good for you. Good you know that now. All right, last couple here. This is number 10 and number 11. I'm going to put these two together because the lyrics are related. We got Y&T here and a song called Gonna Go Blind. You got Anvil here with a song called Five Knuckle Shuffle. What do these songs have in common? They're both songs about men going on having relations with Jill. You know who Jill is, right? Jill. Jill, that's right. And if you don't want me to tell you about the song lyrics, if it makes you feel awkward or uncomfortable, then watch this video of me washing a zucchini. And that's it. That's my contribution to Vinyl Ritchie's offensive video contest, offensive whatever, offend people. So if you're offended, once again, just remember, this is all just in good fun, good humor here. Vinyl Ritchie, congratulations on your 11 years. Just keep doing it because people are watching, listening to you anyway. Take care, man. Take care, everybody. See you around. Bye. I hope that satisfies the little crackerjack.